Hello, and welcome to another video tutorial from Oklahoma City University's Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning. In this video, I would like to show you how you can take a screenshot on your Windows PC. The method I'm going to show you works in Windows 10 and Windows 11. Here you can see I have my web browser open to the Oklahoma City University's D2L homepage. And let's say that, for example, I would like to navigate to my course and there's something within my course that I want to take a screenshot of and maybe send that to a colleague or some students, something to a professor, something like that. Okay, so let's say I want to take a screenshot of this right here. I could come in here on my keyboard and you will see a button. Locate on your keyboard the print screen button. Normally, this is over there next to the backspace button above the arrow keys on your keyboard. If your print screen keyboard button is white, you can just tap on the keyboard and it'll open up the options for screenshotting what you see, taking a screenshot. If it's in blue, you will have to tap and hold the FN key, which is normally located on either side of your spacebar. And while you're holding the FN key on your keyboard with one finger, you need to go up and tap that blue print screen button with another finger. Whenever you click it and trigger the screenshot tool, it looks like this. Now, this is actually part of a native application within Windows called the snipping tool. And you'll notice that my screen grayed out, and now I have a crosshair mouse cursor. Across the top, you'll also notice that I have a little toolbar with some options and an X. The X is there just to close the snipping tool in case I decide to cancel this option. I don't really need to take a screenshot. This first option gives me the rectangular mode, and this is going to enable me to click and drag anywhere on my screen like this if I wanted to, and it takes a snapshot of what I just took a rectangular highlight of. It'll either bring up a snapshot in the lower right hand corner of your window that you can click on, or it'll actually save the snapshot to your computer. So if I was to navigate on my computer by default, it goes into the pictures folder and it creates a subfolder. And that subfolder, you'll notice pictures and then screenshots. And here is the screenshot that I just took. There we go. Now, within the snipping tool, I can do some other types of screenshots. So I'm going to trigger the screenshot again using my keyboard. Again, for me, that is the blue FN key and the print screen key. And it brings up this tool again. Now I can click the freeform. Now the freeform is going to be not as nice and neat, but it allows me to kind of do a little freeform around something that I want to highlight and take a screenshot of, like that. It's not as pretty, but it works. And here you can see it shows now in my screenshot subfolder within my pictures folder. And this is what it looks like. The other option is to take a screenshot in window mode. Now what this does is it will take a screenshot of whatever window you put your mouse over. So I only have one window open right now, and that is the Google Chrome web browser. But if I had another window open, for example, a Microsoft Word document, if I put my mouse over that, just the Word document will highlight and everything else will be in gray. So for example, you see that my Google Chrome web browser is now highlighted and the background of my desktop is in gray. It's grayed out. So it's going to take a snapshot of just this window, not my entire screen. However, if I put my mouse over the desktop, it now shows not the web browser, and my desktop. So that's another way you can take a screenshot. And you'll notice that if you have more than one monitor connected to your computer, it'll take a screenshot of both windows. So just keep that in mind. Both screens, I mean. And then finally, the last option is the full screen mode. So when I click on this, it's literally going to take a screenshot of the entire screen. Now, again, that's placed in the screenshot subfolders in my pictures folder. Another way of triggering a screenshot with some additional editing capabilities is to actually open up the snipping tool. You can do this by navigating to the Windows Start icon, clicking on it, and in the Windows search bar up here, just type in snipping tool, and it'll pop up. This is the snipping tool app within Windows. I'm going to click it to open it, and here we have a new window. There's some options here that I want to explain. The first option that I want to point out is the new screenshot button. When I click on this, it's going to give me that grayed out screen with the crosshairs that you saw in the previous demonstration. Then we have a camera snip button. So this is just taking a snip or a screenshot. Then there's an option here to actually do a recording if you need to do it that way. That's one way that you could do that as well. There's the different snipping modes, which is the same thing we saw earlier. And then within the screenshot snip mode, you can delay your snip. So let's say, for example, you need to position something and you want to give yourself a 3-second delay before it actually takes the screenshot, or a 5-second delay. You can do that by clicking on this and then clicking on your new screenshot. So let's go ahead and create a new screenshot by clicking on the new button. And here we have our same old familiar options. I'm going to click and drag to highlight that, and I'm good to go. Now you'll notice doing this option, the snipping tool window is still open, and you can see the app in my taskbar. I'm going to click on it, and it brings up the screenshot within the snipping tool application, and I'm going to have some additional editing features. The first feature that I'd like to point out is the pen button. If you tap on this, you can choose different colors, adjust the size of your pen, and you can come in here and, for example, circle something in your screenshot that might be beneficial for a colleague or a student or your professor. And maybe you need to highlight something. You can click the highlighter tool and click and drag it, and it'll highlight specific words. It very much like a pen. It's just a little transparent so you can see underneath it. Let's say I drew this and I want to erase what I've just drawn. I click on the eraser icon and I can click on my drawing and it'll take that away. If you need to use a ruler to kind of find a specific spot, you could do so here. Under the drop down arrow, there's also a protractor if you'd like to use that as well. To get rid of it, you just come back in here and click on it again and it goes away. Let's say you have a screenshot and you realize you've taken a larger screenshot than what you actually need. You can actually crop out only what you would like to keep. And you can do that with this image crop button. I'm going to tap on that, and now you'll see that the image is surrounded by these resizing arrows. So if I click and drag, I can resize like this, and now my screenshot has a grayed out background. Everything that's grayed out is going to be removed. Everything that is highlighted here is going to be kept. I'm going to click on the apply checkbox up here. Check arrow, and here we go. Now my screenshot is just that smaller portion. You can also use this button to take text actions, and this is really an interesting tool. If you click on it, it's going to recognize the text in your screenshot. Now you can copy all that text and paste it in another program like Microsoft Word. Or if there is information that is sensitive within the screenshot, for example, like a phone number or an email address, you can click Quick Redact and it'll actually remove the phone number or redact the phone number and the email address. I don't have anything like that in the screenshot, so I can't show that to you. But here you can see if I click on that, my options, then it's going to redact the email address and the phone number. But if I want to show the email address, I can click that, and as long as there's no checkbox, it'll show. Finally, one other thing I would like to show you, besides the option to save the file, you click here. This is all you want to do. You can click the save button and it'll actually save the screenshot in that same screenshot subfolder in your picture folder. You can copy the screenshot and paste it in another program. You could do that as well by using this button. But let's say you wanted to edit a screenshot and do some additional, let's say you wanted to do some additional editing. So I'm going to take another screenshot here just to show you. Here we go. And then going to open up my screenshot in the snipping tool. There we go. And so you'll notice the final option over here that I want to point out is the edit and paint button. So we have some marking tools here, the pen and the highlighter, but let's say you want to actually do some additional call outs using maybe text or some shapes. If you click on the edit and paint button, it'll open your screenshot in Windows Paint. And in here, you can rotate your image by clicking these options over here, 90 degrees, 180 degrees. It can flip it horizontally or vertically. There's also all kinds of editing in here that might be helpful. I'm going to point out the text tool. If I click on that text tool, you'll see a little pop-up here that gives you the font family, font size, bold, italics, underline, so on and so forth. And then let's say you want to add a text box right here. When I click on that, it brings up this little empty text box and I can start typing. Now I can highlight my text, come up here and click a different color to make it a different color. Now it's going to be in red. And I can also change the font type, or more importantly for my purposes here, I can change the font size. Let's say I want to make it that big. Notice now it's a lot bigger and I can click and resize my text. And there's my call out using text. I can also use these shapes and use, for example, the line tool, and I can specifically click and drag to draw a line, whatever color you have selected up there. In this area, it will draw the shape in that color. Just click, drag, and release, and you have your line. You can also use circles like this. You could do squares like that, or you can even actually draw an arrow. Let's say I want to draw an arrow like this. Again, click and drag, and whatever color you've selected up here is what it's going to show up as. Once I'm done, I can just click the save button, and again, it saves my edits to the screenshot in my screenshot subfolder within my pictures. You can also click File, Save As, and then save it as a PNG, JPEG, or other format, and it'll ask you where you would like to save it on your computer, like that. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning.